Part 2, window installation. Well, someone's got to show you.
Okay, so I sort of put the other side together without really showing you the steps and how to do it. If you noticed, I ordered some new window sweep clips. They just sort of fit in those holes like that. They're a little tricky to mess with. These two here, I didn't install yet. It's going to go on this center hole, or excuse me, the left hole, not the right one. So what I did was I lined up my trim and I pre-installed the clips on here, because once it's on, it's difficult to pinch these things into place. You also have to bend this piece in so she fits into that pocket. All right, so it's pretty simple to do. Let me go ahead and install these this sweep and I'll show you what I did. Okay, so basically fits in there just like that. All right, now on this side of the door you have one, and then there's two screws down here that holds the inside track. So I'm going to reinstall that track before I put the felt that runs up that channel and across the top. All right, just a point of note. Notice this track here. I can't see it because of the glare, but this piece of window sweep goes behind this bracket just a little bit. So that's why you got to get this piece in first before we put this in. All right. Okay. When you get these from Walks, they're pre-cut to length. They're flexible. Don't mess with it too much until you're ready to install it. You don't want to weaken any part of this. But we're going to go ahead and insert this down into the door and stick it into the track that runs vertical, okay? And we're not going to tuck it in yet because we want to get this bend into place. Now, inside the door where the mirror, or excuse me, the wing goes, there's an indent here for that. So you just want to stop short of that indent and go ahead and tuck things into place and measure them. Now on the other side, when I did it, I had to actually trim it off a little bit, and which is no big deal. And also, don't remember there's a couple of screws here, but I got a quick way of taking care of that. So we're just going to simply tuck this in into the door, and I'm going to kind of align that to where that indent is. I'm going to pull this up. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm going to pull this up and shape it into that corner. All right. And then tuck this into the rail that's inside the door. And it just sort of dry fits in there. Nothing special. That's it. All right. Next piece is to drill the two holes. Okay. Now, you got it dry fitted. Just get you a small drill bit, just enough to create a pilot hole in this strip, okay? Because you already have a screw here, one here, and one here. If you have half an eyeball, you can do this without any extreme measurements, okay? So we're gonna make sure things are tucked into place. I can see the hole pretty much lined up. And it goes through like freaking butter. Right into the existing hole. Did you see that? Good, I'm glad you saw that. Now, that's the screw, and it's probably not going to focus, but that's what we're going to use. So here you can see, this is before I was rudely interrupted by my spouse. Now she's squealing out of my truck. It's killing me. Anyhow, she's mad at me, folks. It doesn't matter. So the screw is lined up here now. I've done a pilot hole, and we're simply just going to tighten that bad boy right in there. And you don't need to overdo it, just enough to... So now you can see the relationship of how the track overlaps the window sweep. All right, travels up nice and smooth. Now we're going to go ahead and drill these holes. So the next two holes are pre-drilled. Well, you don't want to do that when you're in the grass. Fortunately, I got eyes like a hawk. All right. Come on now. Stupid dog barking at everybody. There we go. So as you can see, if you can, I got both the screws started. And that'll just make installation a lot easier when you slide them up there and screw them into place. And she is tucked in there really nice like. So we got the old track out, and you know, it's still got some remnants of the old felt in here, and then it quickly deteriorates on this end. If you notice, the old track is held on by a rivet on both ends. So we're going to have to kind of drill that out of there and take care of it. Also, this is missing a stud that mounts to the door. So I'll fashion up a bolt with a, you know, with a stop nut, and then a nut for the other side, just so I can get the spacing. Show you how that goes. All right. So the bottom support bolt or stud was missing, so anybody out there that turns a wrench, you know we can get very creative. So I just happen to have this particular scrap piece laying in my bolt pile. I already did the setback on that one jam nut there, and we'll install this track just like we did the other side, and snug it up after the glass is installed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this track in. I got my felt installed, I got the new stud in place. Probably the cleanest, newest part in the entire truck. Good thing you won't see it. Anyhow, just like we took out on the other side, we're going to insert this the exact same way, okay? We're just going to take it in at an angle. The only reason why we do this is because you got the stud involved, and we're just going to get this unit in here, like so. It's going to slide over. And for now, I'm just going to sort of set it in there. All right. Actually, I'm taking it back out. I'm supposed to put the glass in first. Shit. All right. What do you expect my how-tos to be perfect? The whole idea is that you get to learn from my mistakes, right? Hang on a minute. Told you, you got to put the glass in. It's going to set. You see how simple that went in there? Set it down at the bottom of the door. All right, then. Let's see if I can prop this up a little bit better, differently, or something. Oh hell, that ain't gonna work. Okay, now the track. At an angle, and just sort of set it like that. Let's get the arms down so I can see where to. You can't see it in the video, but I'm cranking the handle. I'm dropping the two support arms down so I can get to them. I'm going to set the window in the track. At the same time, I'm going to align it to this felt and this felt. Once that's in place, we'll go ahead and set this in and bolt it in. All right, see what happens. Come on, baby. Alright, so it's in that felt, sliding it up. Okay, that's in place. And now we're simply just going to tuck this felt in to the window. Like such. Get that up there to hold everything in place. All right, don't forget I got that jam nut in there. I'm just going to put a nut down here to hold the bottom into place. Okay, I'll take the window down. Track seems to be up against it pretty good. Right, just a little. It still wants to creep. And a lot of that's because there's 3 screws here. Let's see if you can see that. There's 1, 2, 3 are loose. So I'm going to take this all the way up and get it set, and then I'm going to snug those 3 screws down. That'll help keep the window. So windows up. Feels good. I gotta hurry up, man. The sun disappeared and I think the rain's coming. Okay, good to go. Now, that rolls down nice and smooth. Remember, we got 3 little ones to stick in. There's 2 at the top. Yeah, so don't lose your screws, right? Marbles, you can lose your marbles, but don't lose your screws. Like that. I think I'd pay the extra money to get a magnetic screwdriver or something. I'm too cheap. All right. This one needs to go back. I knew it. Window sweep, a little too long. Hang on a minute. Okay, I got it fixed. I'll show you in a minute what I did wrong. I get this stupid screw started. There we go. Check this out. So as I was going to install this, I had too much of that sweep tucking in behind that rail. That's why it's important to get this cut properly. Fortunately, just move this over, pop it out, and get you a pair of snips and just pop it right off. All right, so that one's in. Those 2 are in. Can't see it. So just like the other side, here's the replacement piece. It's got a good handle on it that moves. Glass is kind of funky. I got good glass, but I got bad this. So later on I'll have to figure out how to take this out and replace it. But installation's pretty simple. Once it goes in there, just make sure this lip goes to the outside, okay? You're just gonna angle it in. Notice the window orientation, okay? And we just wanna make sure that the rubber comes to the outside of the door frame. Might need a little English. There we go. Okay, that's in there. And I gotta find the screws. Hang on a minute. Okay, the corner window was installed. The latch works. It's nice and snug. It ain't beautiful, but it should keep out most of the rain. Okay, we're good to go. Now, on this side, I told you about these clips. Here's what they look like. You're probably gonna wanna try to, if I can get my finger in the picture, Bend these little guys back together just a little bit to give them some tension. Washer goes on, and then a clip behind each of these studs here, okay? And that's what holds it into the track. Once I get those in place, I'll go ahead and lube up the track. And notice that one's missing a washer and a clip as well. Don't forget that one. All right, so that's the reassembly. Windows back in, everything's tightened up. She cranks up real nice. Everything's sealed really good. And the corner, good to go. That's it, folks. That's how you get that one done. I just gotta clean all this lubrication off the windows. Hey, good luck on your windows. I've had the great fortune of locating some split windows, a centerpiece, and some trim for the front. We are going to convert that from a single glass to double because I like the look. And when that comes in, I'll do a demonstration on how I get that installed as well. So for those of you that have trucks out there that need to work on your door windows, there you have it. So that's how you put it together. The other video I had is pretty much how you took it apart, but I didn't take that much care in showing you everything. So this one here will back that one up. All right, have a good weekend, and get out there and work on those freaking Jeeps. I'm a nut job.